I've been recommending this budget gaming PC for about a year now on almost all of my gaming PC reviews. Yes, it does have a pretty incredible price to performance ratio, but today we're going to help you decide if it's actually right for you in this 100% honest review of the AVGPC Max. In just a minute, I'm going to show you exactly what you get in the box, how it performs in real games, how well it's built, how loud it gets under pressure, and diving deep into the thermals to show you how well it actually manages heat. We're also breaking down its price to performance versus the competition. And listen, if you ultimately decide that this is not the right PC for you after anything that I say in this video, just keep watching because I'm also going to be sharing with you some alternative PCs that I recommend for every budget. They'll be linked down below in the comments and description, as well as tagged directly on this video or using a QR code if you're watching on a TV. But I guarantee that by the end of this video, you will know if this PC is right for you or not. But if you still have any questions after watching this entire video, just shoot me a comment, and if you're publicly subscribed, I guarantee a personal response. All right, now let's rewind back into the past real quick and check out what came in the box. First thing we got in here is another small box with a very basic gaming keyboard. Nothing special, but it's free. You also get a gaming mouse, which feels cheap weight-wise, but it gets the job done and is still pretty comfortable to game with. Then you also get some quick start guides, some Wi-Fi antennas, and a massive power cable. Now design-wise, it is fairly similar to that ABS Cyclone Aqua that we just recently reviewed. A more basic and simple design that's honestly not my favorite, but everything else pretty much makes up for it. Despite this being a bare bones model, it's pretty efficient. We've got 2 intake fans on the front, 1 exhaust on the back, and the rest of the ventilation just rises out the top naturally. Just a simple air cooler for our CPU, which is completely fine for a 5600X processor. To the right of our CPU, we've got 3200 MHz T-Force Vulkan DDR4 RAM. They give you 2 8GB sticks in here for a total of 16. The most important part of this PC though is this 5060 GPU. We got a Zotac Gaming 5060, which is okay, but I'd say probably the dinkiest 5060 that I've seen yet. That ABS Cyclone Aqua that we just recently reviewed also had a 5060, and just look at the difference between the two. Actually, out of the 3 recent PCs that we've tested with 5060s, this was the cheapest looking one by far. Unlike that ABS Cyclone Aqua though, which could not fit a big boy GPU, this AVGPC Max surprisingly could fit our massive 4080 Super and still have access to 2 PCI slots underneath. This should be very encouraging for anybody planning to upgrade in the future. Behind the GPU is our main drive that our operating system and everything else is installed on. This SSD is a T-Force G50, and when we tested it, we got pretty decent speeds of about 5200 megabytes per second read and about 4800 write. You also get 1 more slot for an additional SSD down at the bottom of the motherboard. The one that we got is a Gigabyte B550 UDAC. Between the ports on the back of that and the top of the PC, we've got 10 USB-A's and 1 USB-C. So plenty. Then swinging around to the back and removing the back panel, you can see that we've got extremely clean cable management back here. Very impressive for a budget pre-built. And then we got 1 additional bracket for a 3.5-inch mechanical hard drive. And then lastly, a non-modular Gamdias Helios P1 650G 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply. All of the parts that I just mentioned and everything else that's required to build this PC yourself comes out to $1,300. So you would actually have to pay $300 extra for the task of building it yourself. This pre-built saves you money and time. Now, when it comes to the software, if you're the type of person that loves to dive deep into the BIOS menus and tweak every last bit of performance out of your PC, you'll have plenty to customize in here to take care of that itch. The fan profiles and RGB can also be controlled by downloading the motherboard's Gigabyte Control Center, but you've got way more options just using Signal RGB. That app is by far the best when it comes to modifying your RGB, and it's actually what I recommend for all of my gaming PC reviews. Now for the thermals, you can see in our thermal imaging time-lapse from computer off to full-on gaming that as usual, we do get some heat building up on the glass right next to the GPU and just above the CPU air cooler at the top of the PC. Taking off the glass panel and moving in closer, we can see a little bit more in detail where specifically some of those hotter areas are, most of it accumulating on the top of that open 5060 GPU. These were our CPU temperatures for several different games at 1080p. Pretty cool overall, and looking at the averages, you can see that it's one of the coolest CPUs that we've ever tested. This proves that that air cooler is definitely doing its job well, but also not typically a super hot CPU to begin with. Now moving into 4K gaming, we're focusing on the GPU temperatures here because high resolution gaming puts more pressure on the GPU and eases up on the CPU. And you can see in this overall chart that compared to the rest, it's about where we thought it would be for a 5060 GPU. And because everything stayed pretty cool, the fans did not have to work that hard either. This led to pretty low fan noise, hitting only around 41.6 decibels during gaming. And as you can see in the charts, this is one of the quietest that we've tested yet. I'm also noticing a trend with AVGPC desktops having the quietest default fans overall, even in idle mode. Now for the performance and gaming benchmarks, and up next, the most important part of this review, the price to performance ratios. For Cinebench R23, which simulates its 3D rendering power, you can see that it does do a bit better than the similar spec Apex PC that we reviewed, but still pretty unimpressive compared to everything else. Not really a PC that I'd recommend for 3D animation or creative projects. And we got similar results in our other main 3D rendering benchmark as well. Our V-Ray performance score again shows the budget CPU in this PC to understandably be at the bottom of the list. For actual gameplay though, these were our average and 1% low FPS numbers that we got for several games at their highest preset settings at 1080p, 1440p, and 4K gaming resolutions. Honestly, not bad for a gaming PC with only a 5600X CPU and 5060 GPU. Then averaging all of those 1080p gaming FPS together and putting it up next to all of the other gaming PCs that we've tested, you can see that it's just barely below what that Apex RTS 5060 could do. That PC was $700 more than this one though. And then at 1440p, still not very far behind PCs that are hundreds of dollars more expensive. And then at 4K, you can see that with average numbers this low, just I don't recommend it. Not a 4K PC. Now for my favorite part, the price to performance ratios. Right now at the time of this recording, this PC sits at only $1,000. That is a great price for these specs in this market right now. And it's the main reason that I recommend this PC on pretty much all of my gaming PC reviews for people that are on a budget. Looking at the price to performance charts, you can see that at 1080p, it's actually the #1 best value PC that we've ever tested, with the absolute best dollar per FPS ratio. And even though it didn't have the best FPS at 1440p, it was also still one of the best value PCs even at that resolution. But if you're on a super tight budget and you need to be even lower than this PC that we reviewed today, then I would go with this Skytech Blaze Mini with the Ryzen 5 5500 and 3050. This I only recommend for people with very low graphics settings on pretty moderate games. For about $1,600, you can get this Lenovo Legion Tower 5i with a much faster 5060 Ti GPU. I thoroughly reviewed that PC and I can confirm that it's a solid choice. It's also got plenty of room for big boy GPUs if you want the freedom to upgrade in the future. For those of you with a budget closer to $2,000, I would definitely go with this version of the Skytech King 95 that I reviewed with one of the best gaming CPUs, the 7800X3D CPU and a 9070 XT GPU. This was one of my favorite, if not my most favorite gaming PC designs, and I can tell by how many polls that I've done that you guys feel the exact same way. We've benchmarked PCs with this exact CPU and GPU combo, so here are the FPS that you can expect with this one at every resolution. But because this one is such a hot pick, I predict it to either go back up in price or out of stock pretty soon. So if that happens, you can also get a version of that Lenovo Legion Tower that we just talked about for about the same price, but slightly inferior performance, and it's also not as easily upgradable as that King 95. If you want top tier performance and can push closer to $3,000, then I would get this Andromeda Insights with a 5080. I tested this exact configuration of this PC, so here are the exact FPS that you can expect for each game with the highest graphic presets at every resolution. And if you really like this one, there's also a 5090 version for the ultimate highest performance that you can currently get in a gaming PC if money is not a factor. Another benefit with Andromeda Insights PCs is that you get a 2-year warranty, which is double the standard. But an even better deal than that is this Skytech O11V with the same specs for only only $5,000. I also reviewed this exact configuration of this PC, so here are the exact FPS that you can expect for each game with the highest graphic presets at every resolution. I know a lot of you prefer to buy from Best Buy, and usually they have pretty competitive pricing, but for some reason this specific PC is hundreds of dollars more expensive on Best Buy than at Walmart. So you may want to abandon your Best Buy loyalty specifically for this one. Overall, there's honestly not a lot of bad things to say about this PC, especially for the price. It's $300 less expensive than building it yourself. The quiet fans, cool temperatures, and upgradability was just the icing on the cake. If you do decide to purchase this PC or any of the others that I mentioned, then please remember to use my affiliate links in the comments and description below, or tag directly on this video, or using a QR code if you're watching on a TV, as I get a small commission at no cost to you for every single purchase made. And it's actually a major factor in keeping this channel going and getting better and better for you. Also, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with notifications turned on to stay up to date with all of my latest tech and gaming PCs. PC gaming is awesome, but please trust me, do not let it take over your life. What helps me mentally is getting outside, staying active, eating healthy, and spending more time with my family. Also, studies have shown that reading the Bible 4 times a week can massively improve your mental health, and I can attest to that. And if you are a little skeptical about the Bible, then check out the book or documentary, The Case for Christ.